Vasily Lomachenko retires officially as he makes his announcement via Fight Hub, via Ring Magazine, via many multiple outlets, which will be shown after this video. And let me counterpunch. This is really no surprise to me. Vasily Lomachenko, he fought last May, I believe, where he beat Kambosos, and it was a pretty good fight, and he did a good job with Kambosos. Even though Kambosos tried, he failed. Lomachenko shows how good he is, especially when you're dealing with a fighter that comes to fight. He either beats you or he makes you quit on almost most occasions. Keep in mind that this is one of the only fighters besides, I believe, I forget the Thai fighter, but he is one of the only fighters that won a championship in 3 professional fights. Okay, the WBO. And honestly, it should have been the second fight because I think he beat Orlando Salido. I think that fight was refereed all wrong. I think the judges got it wrong. I think the wrong man won or got the decision, right? Because I know who won, and it was Lomachenko. And, the way Lomachenko beat guys, like Gary Russell Jr., which is regarded as was one of the fastest fighters ever, and the way he beat him was a thing of beauty, and Gary Russell Jr., that was his only loss because he was 19-0 when he fought him. And keep in mind, he made 4 people quit back to back. They call this man the Matrix. They call this man Lomachencko. They call this man all types of things. You know what I mean? He was doing things to people that other people were he was oohing and ahhing people. Fighter of the year 2016, fighter of the year 2017. You know what I mean? And he just kept going. He kept moving up weight classes. Lomachenko, kicked so much ass and did it in a fashion that was so dominant that it had Floyd, Money Mayweather, afraid to put his young hot commodity star in there, Tank Davis. He was afraid of putting Tank in there with Lomachenko. You know what I mean? You guys remember the story that he said, you remember the actual comment that he made. He made this comment like, no, we're not putting Tank in there with Lomachenko. Lomachenko, nobody told him to stay in the amateurs so long. So, Lomachenko's in the past, Tank's in the future. Meaning he was going to wait him out. And then later on, they tried to make that fight. I believe it was last year, or was it the year before? I think it was last year. And Loma was like, nah, something else is going on and I want to spend time with my family. Like, oh yeah, he's ducking. I'm like, dude, you're talking about a 35-year-old man fighting someone that's 29. You know what I mean? And, that fight should have happened when Lomachenko was actually 30 and Tank was about 23. Needless to say, he took his first official loss to me by Teofimo Lopez. Okay, and that was just inactivity in the fight. His activity in the fight wasn't enough. You know what I mean? His activity in the fight just wasn't enough. It wasn't. So in all, when he did fight Teofimo, he beat him. He beat him up rather, right? But Teo won that fight. I think that was his first loss. But Teo didn't want to go back in there either, did he? Because he knew, well, look, I did something that I know normal people can't do, won't do, right? So, and then he loses to Devin Haney, and a lot of people feel that Devin Haney lost, like me. I think Devin Haney lost, but I knew Devin Haney was going to win a decision based on his age, based on the marketability, based on his part in his time in the sport to build a star, because they needed another star over in America, right? So I understand the whole political thing behind that. I called that fight before that fight was, and Lomachenko did beat Devin Haney. Devin Haney, though, to be fair. I mean, he put up a good fight, but I don't think he did enough to win. But I think he did enough to win based on the politics at the time. He did enough to argue, but I still think Lomachenko did enough to beat him. But I think the mindset of Lomachencko, especially being and getting older, signifies that, hey, he has to do more. And I don't think that he was willing to do, doing more above and beyond versus something that he's been doing forever. I don't think that's fair, but that's the politics of the thing. You have to do something extraordinary to win fights, you'll end up like guys like Austin Trout that fights guys, but you never get the nod due to your age and where you're at in the sport. And I think Lomachenko realized that. That's why I think he looked and took time, spent time with his family, looked around and was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go hang out with Vasily Lomachenko. I mean, with Vladimir Klitschko. I think I'm going to hang out with him and just lift weights and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going in there and if I'm not respected. And I think at the end, I think he felt disrespected. I think he felt that, hey, this place is no longer favoring my performances. You know what I mean? He has to stop guys and knock them out like Guillermo Rigondeaux and Erislandy Lara are doing right now, because you have to do that because you're not getting a nod. You know what I mean? So when you get to a certain age, a certain tier, you're going to have to do things like that to snatch the politics out of it, because if not, that's your ass. You know what I mean? You're not going to win a decision from someone that's undefeated or someone that's younger. And I'm actually glad. I'm not sad at all that Vasily Lomachenko's retiring, because again, he hasn't fought in over a year. And because he hasn't fought in over a year, you kind of like, okay, like I see Dillian White, just reported that he's not fighting Saturday. So I see him retiring too. So a lot of times you keep getting injured or, keep pulling out of fights to the point where you can tell by what you're doing, the love or the passion is no longer there. Maybe he'll be like his father one day and make the next Ukrainian Lomachenko or Alexander Usyk. You know what I'm saying? But he's done well in the sport. 21 fights, 18 wins, 12 by knockout, no loss, no draws. I mean, very, very 396 amateur fights, one loss, and avenged that twice. Come on. Like, what else could you ask for with that fighter? Fought for 11 years, 2013 through 2024. So 11 years, 397 fights, lost one of them, lost 3 professional fights, with 2 of those fights very, very controversial. And to be fair, the Teofimo Lopez scorecards were off. You see what I mean? Teo won the fight, but the scorecards were off, so that tells you something. Corruption. So there you go. I mean, Lomachenko, I'm glad he's going out like this instead of staying into the sport too long and getting embarrassed because you're no longer able to keep up with the level that you were able to dominate once before. But you guys tell me what you think of Lomachenko announcing his retirement from the sport of boxing. Of course, please subscribe, like, and share. And you guys been Counterpunched. Stay tuned.
I'm grateful for every victory and every defeat, both in the ring and in a life. I'm thankful that as my career comes to an end, I've gained clarity about the direction a person must take in order to achieve true victory, not just in the ring, but in overcoming the old self. Only then can one receive their true reward. I thank God for my wonderful, honest, and kind parents, for their care, their love, and their warmth I felt throughout my life. My father not only taught me art of boxing, but how to be a role model for my own children. The same way he has always been for me. I've made many mistakes in the life and in the gym, but he was always by my side, correcting me then needed, praising me then earned it. I have many warm memories. I love you deeply. Dad, I bow low before you and dedicate the most hurtful words in the world to you. You are my number one. To my family, you have always stood by me. You shared in my victories with joy and felt the pain of my losses. But those moments only made us stronger. Andrei Borisovich, you are a truly unique person who taught me so much. Without you, the puzzle of my career wouldn't have come together. You are a world-class professional. Our journey, hands up and downs, but we face it everything with dignity. Your personal qualities are something else, entirely. You are a man who sacrifices his own time and energy for others. I'm grateful that our professional relationship became a true friendship. Thank you for everything. Dear Aegis, thank you for everything you've done for me and my family. You are a man who knows his craft, the best manager in the world, who became a friend and part of our family. Your professionalism goes hand in hand with your character, honesty, integrity, kindness, and the ability to find a solution in any situation. I want to thank Top Rank and Mr. Bob Arum for amazing opportunity to showcase my abilities in boxing. I'm grateful to the United States of America for giving me the chance to realize my potential. And of course, I wouldn't be remiss not to thank you, my dear boxing fans around the world. You have always supported me with passion and lived through unforgettable fights alongside me for over a decade. I hope you continue to love and respect this sport, just a passionality, because the men who step in a ring risk their health for the sake of their families. Peace to all. May the Lord bless his people.